Horror Chronicles. Lower the lights and let's begin. The guide stops walking. Up ahead, the hallway bends left into darkness, and her flashlight beam doesn't reach the corner. Behind her, 11 visitors go quiet. The way people go quiet when they realize the person leading them isn't moving anymore. She's done this tour 400 times. She knows every creak in this floor, every draft that isn't a draft. But she's never gotten used to this specific stretch of hallway, the one that leads to a room near the back of the West Wing. A room the staff here don't name out loud if they can help it. Somewhere behind that corner, something shifts. Not a settling sound, not old wood contracting in the cold. A weight, moving low to the ground, and then still again. She raises the flashlight, but she doesn't step forward yet. Not right away. Because to understand why this particular hallway feels different, you have to understand what the rest of the tour already showed this group tonight. One stop at a time, each one a little harder to explain away than the last. It started an hour earlier in what used to be the surgical ward, the long room lined with rusted gurneys. Nobody has moved in decades. The guide told the group what the room used to be used for, and halfway through, one of the wheels on the nearest gurney turned, slowly, on its own. No draft strong enough to move it, no incline for gravity to explain it. It simply turned, a quarter rotation, and stopped, as if something invisible had leaned against it and thought better of it. A few people laughed nervously. A few didn't laugh at all. The second stop came 20 minutes later, in a stairwell connecting two wards that hadn't held patients since the 80s. The guide always tells this group the same thing at this stop, that visitors sometimes hear footsteps on the floor above, matching pace with the group below, stopping exactly when the group stops. Tonight they stopped, every one of them, and for 3 full seconds, directly above their heads, on a floor sealed off since before half of them were born, footsteps kept walking, then silence. The kind of silence that feels like something listening back. Nobody spoke for the length of that stairwell. By the time the group reached this hallway, the one bending left into a darkness her flashlight can't fully reach, they were already primed to feel every draft as a warning, every shadow as something worse. She knows that. She's counted on it before. Every 100 or so guests reacting the same way at the same stops, right on schedule. But this hallway is different, and she's never quite managed to explain why, even to herself. She raises the flashlight and steps forward anyway, because that's the job, and because whatever is waiting in that room has been waiting for a very long time. And it isn't going anywhere tonight. 2.5 miles of hallway wind through the building behind her. Stone walls, cut by hand more than 160 years ago. Windows staring out over 600 acres of West Virginia hillside. It was built to hold 250 patients. At its worst, it held nearly 10 times that. And somewhere in the gap between those two numbers is the reason this hallway feels the way it does tonight. Let's go back. Not to the hauntings first, to the beginning, because you need to understand exactly what this building was supposed to be before you understand what happened inside it. In 1858, a physician named Thomas Kirkbride convinced the Virginia General Assembly that the mentally ill deserved something no one had offered them before. Sunlight, privacy, their own room, their own window, their own quiet corner of the world. Not chains, not cages, comfort. The building rose from the hillside exactly to that design. Long wings staggered so every ward caught natural light. A working farm and dairy on the grounds so patients had purpose, structure, a reason to rise each morning. The Civil War tore through it before it ever opened. Union soldiers turning half-finished wards into barracks. Confederate raiders stripping a nearby bank vault of gold meant to pay the construction crews. Still, in 1864, in the middle of a nation at war with itself, the hospital opened its doors. And for a while, it worked exactly as intended. Patients wove their own fabric, built their own furniture, sat in sunlit wards, and for the first time in their lives, some of them believed they might get better. Hold that image. Sunlight through tall windows, because it's about to disappear and it never fully comes back. The walls at Weston were built for 250. By the 1950s, they held more than 2,400. A room meant for one bed now held 4, held 6. Mattresses pushed edge to edge. Patients close enough to hear each other breathing, close enough to hear each other break. And the reasons people ended up in those crowded rooms weren't always what you'd expect. A man committed for being kicked in the head by a horse. A woman committed for what doctors call disappointed love, as if grief itself were a diagnosis. A wife, sent here by a husband who found her insubordinate. A mother sent here, after losing a son in the war, her sorrow reframed as madness. Almost anyone, if you think about it long enough, could have ended up behind these walls. And once the doors closed, dignity was the first thing that ran out. That room the staff won't name, the one waiting past the corner the guide hasn't turned yet, has a story of its own, one that happened decades before she was ever born. His name was Dean. He'd been a patient for years by then, one face among thousands, sleeping in a room built for one that now held 4. What's documented is only the outcome, not the cause. No one wrote down what started it. Maybe an argument over a bed, a blanket, a space too small to share. Maybe nothing at all. What's certain is that 2 other patients decided on a day no record preserves that Dean needed to die. They tried to hang him first. It didn't work. The rope failed, or the ceiling was too low, or his body was simply too heavy to lift clean off the ground. So they changed methods. They forced his head beneath the iron frame of a bed. They climbed onto the mattress above him, and they jumped. Once, the frame groaned. Twice. Somewhere down the hall, a nurse was on the other side of a locked door, tending to 6 more patients than she could watch at once. 3 times, until the frames met the floor and Dean stopped moving beneath it. In a ward built for a fraction of the people crammed inside it, nobody was close enough or fast enough to stop it before it was over. Guides who've made this same walk before her on other nights describe the room the same way every time. Step inside and the air changes first. Colder near the floor, the kind of cold that climbs. Then the sound. Low, quiet, a crying with no visible source, no corner it comes from, nowhere a flashlight can find. It doesn't stop when you speak to it. It doesn't react to you at all. It simply continues, the way grief continues, whether or not anyone is listening. Some of them won't walk in alone anymore, not because they believe every story whispered about this building, but because enough of them have felt something specific, something located that they've stopped needing to believe. They've simply stopped testing it. Dean's death, horrifying as it was, wasn't even the worst thing this building did to the people trapped inside it. Because overcrowding doesn't only breed violence between patients, it breeds desperation in the people meant to run the place. In the early 1950s, that desperation found a doctor named Walter Freeman, and Freeman brought with him a solution shaped like an ice pick. Picture the ward. Rows of beds. Patients waiting their turn without knowing what a turn meant. An orderly holds the shoulders down. Freeman lifts the eyelid, slides the thin instrument beneath it into the socket, past the eye itself, until the tip rests against the thin bone separating the eye from the brain. Then the hammer. One strike, through the bone, into the frontal lobe, severing in a single motion the connections that made a person who they were. No operating theater, no true anesthesia, only a jolt of electroshock to keep the body still while the mind was taken apart behind the eyes. The tap of hammer on steel, the smell of antiseptic and fear in the same breath. Then the doctor moves to the next bed and the next and the next. He performed this procedure at Weston more than 4,000 times. Some patients survived it hollowed out, compliant, silent, easier to manage, but no longer, in any real sense, themselves. Some didn't survive it at all, the spike driven too far, the hemorrhage too fast, the body simply stopping right there on the bed, the hammer still in the doctor's hand. And this is not a story built to sell tickets on a haunted tour. It's documented in the Charleston Gazette, in the hospital's own admission records, confirmed by the very foundation that runs tours through these halls today. 1949. A reporter walks through and writes that the place looks like a hog pen and smells even worse. 1985. Another reporter, another visit, finds patients confined to wards with bathrooms smeared with feces. Patients found naked. The moral treatment Kirkbride once believed in, the sunlight and the dignity and the fresh air, reduced by then to something almost unrecognizable. 3 more decades pass before the state finally closes the doors in 1994. And here's the detail that should stay with you longer than any ghost story could. In the asylum's final decades, as the wards grew filthier and the treatments grew crueler, only one part of the property kept expanding to keep pace with demand. Not a ward, not a wing, the cemetery. More than 2,000 people are buried on these grounds, most of them under nothing but a number, their names lost in a filing cabinet or never recorded at all. Back to the hallway now, back to the guide, flashlight raised, turning the corner she's turned 400 times before. The room is exactly as it always is, peeling paint, a rusted bed frame in the corner, dust undisturbed on a floor. No one sleeps on anymore. She steps inside first, the way she always does, putting herself between the group and whatever the room decides to be tonight. For a moment, nothing. Just the beam of her flashlight crawling across the walls, the groups breathing behind her. Too loud in a space this quiet. Then the temperature drops. Fast enough that someone's breath fogs mid-sentence. Then the crying starts. Low, from somewhere near the bed frame, from nowhere at all. And then, before anyone can decide whether to run or stay, every visitor behind her feels it at once. The same instant, the same sensation. Something moving past them in a single file line down a hallway with no room for anything to pass. Not one shoulder brushed. All of them. In the same second, someone screams. Someone else grabs the person next to them and doesn't let go. The guide doesn't turn around right away. She's learned not to. She simply says, quietly, that this happens here, that it's happened before, though never, she admits later, quite like that. Whatever it is has never once tried to hurt anyone. It just doesn't seem to know it's allowed to leave. Some nights, the building gives up nothing at all. Other nights, every sense in it seems to wake at once. Footsteps on 3 floors simultaneously. Doors along a single corridor closing one after another. Like something moving down the hall and shutting the world behind it as it goes. No one has ever found the trigger. No one has found what makes it stop. The next time someone tells you an old building is just an old building, remember Weston and remember that it was built with more hope and more care than almost any hospital of its era, and that hope was never enough to stop what happened once the beds ran out. Somewhere in that building, on a night no one can predict, it may be walking again right now. If you enjoyed tonight's story, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, because every story on the Horror Chronicles is real. Sleep well, if you can.